The owners are trying to establish tenant negligence for the sink overflowing. I have a difference of opinion about this. I think I was actually doing my due diligence in cracking this window here. I had this side open and it gusted open, clipped this on, fell into that, and this is the owner's plug, and it's one of those ones that just plugs if you touch it. But the reason I had this window open is because the house smelled like mold, and also when I cook and there's steam, this is the vent, and this vent is insufficient to take away moisture because it is caked with many years of grease that was painted over. I tried to take it out to clean it. Here, let's put on this little light here. And it is so caked with grease that it's just not possible. Grease that was also just painted over to make it look better. So it's not been pulling a lot of air from the kitchen, and when I cook there's steam, so I open the window and I let it air out. I used this shelf as a shelf is intended to be used. I imagine they put this here so people could reach for things like vitamins, lightweight items, easy access. But this time it did a very odd thing. In addition, the sink is really far out from the wall. I've got this extra pipe, broken wall. It's not sealed. This is over the tile, I guess you did, but it sticks out really far. This was a booby trap. Not an obvious booby trap. I mean, I didn't guess, but it was a booby trap. And a gust of wind should not cause a problem like that. If this were my plug, which I never use these because they are so easy to plug, I hate them. That's one thing, you know, if I had put the shelf here, but this swing-in window is an issue. It does that on a small gust of wind. And I went to bed and I woke up at 5:30 and this terrible thing had happened, and I lost it because I had already noticed a lot of mold smell coming up from the floors, and I had wanted that window open for ventilation, and now it seems very clear the mold is real and it's not from the flood. The thick mold was there a mere 4 hours after the flood happened. The floor was completely dry 6 hours after the flood happened, and the mold was thick at that point. There's photos. And I've also discovered mold here in this room, far away from the flood, because there's gaps to the crawl space. And until they did the foundational work, there was flooding under this part of the house, under this little unit. There was flooding, lots and lots of flooding, probably for years and years and years. There's a separate video with that during a really big rainstorm, so it shows the water flow. I hate to do it, but they're lawyering up and making sounds like they want me to pay for their subfloor issues. And they're being, at least Ollie is being really icky about it, angry, saying things to me saying I said things that I never said. And I don't like dishonesty. I believe in nonviolent communication and mediation and conflict resolution. And I will not be blamed for a pre-existing severe habitability issue. What I've been able to figure out online, it looks like the owner created an obstacle by putting the plumbing so far out from the back wall that they needed to create a shelf above it. And even then, they had to stick it even farther out from the wall. This is below a swinging window. Knocked my vitamins onto the sink, turned it on, and plugged the sink in the middle of the night. The question of negligence came up, and I was using this window because this fan was blocked with grease and then painted over, and it's not working very well. So I was doing my due diligence, as it says in my lease, to use my window to vent steam and odors from the apartment. I don't think that a gust of wind creating a problem with my vitamins falling on this super extended obstacle plumbing booby trap here is my fault. It said that Ollie put in this tile. He may have put in this shelf to house the plumbing in order to put a sink down here. And this is about 15 inches out from the wall. He couldn't flush mount it against the tile he installed, so he made it further out from the wall. Tile's problematic because of some serious waterproofing issues that have crumbled away. I have a hole into the wall here and a deep crevice that can't be cleaned all along this tile wall. They also told me that they found this stove on the street from the neighbors next door who pulled it out. And this is installed, maybe without a permit. I think this might be installed without a permit too. But this is next to a heater, and so the gas line is from the heater. This is not the stove vent. That is the heat vent. I've never seen a faucet this far out from a wall. I've never seen a faucet with a shelf above it, ever, in any kitchen. And definitely not below a swinging window that swings out into the space. This created an obstacle here for 5 a.m. when the wind blew the window open and turned on the faucet. So, yeah. He also put in the tile floor. So I think he did this kitchen. I think this kitchen was not originally part of this house. The more I think about how this accident happened and negligence, the more I realize that this is not my negligence. The fact that this opened and knocked my vitamins onto the faucet is because they built this out from the wall so that they could put the pipes in this wall. So if these pipes were flush with this wall here, this never would have happened. Even if it were just a little bit out from this wall, it never would have happened. The fact is that they went 8 inches out from the wall and then a few more inches here after that to put this so far out in front of a swinging window, which I have to use because this thing is clogged up with grease and grime. I let them know that, and they did nothing. They didn't apologize, offer to clean it, or offer to replace it. I was doing my due diligence by opening this window to air out the steam and odors, as it says I have to do in my lease. This I did not do. This situation here, this booby trap situation here, that's not something I did.